Hey, I'm Tim from Rise Against, and you're watching the Kerrang podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Kerrang podcast. It's day 2 at Warped Tour. Here I'm with Tim from Rise Against.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
Right.
You headlining both nights, but how was last night's performance for you?
It was a lot of fun, man. It was like, it kind of blew us away. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. It was just kind of, there's a lot of bands here. There's a lot of different kinds of bands here. Being the last band of any festival that this in depth, you know, is a hard gig because people are tired, they're leaving. They've got to really love what you're doing to stick around that late, you know. And there's a lot of bands that, you know, are so different than what we do. So I wasn't sure the kind of fan that was coming out to this place. And so when everyone stuck around and went off, I was like, this is amazing. You know, we actually had a really fun show, and the energy was really, really cool. And it was good for us to play together because we haven't played together in a while, a couple of months actually, which in band terms is a while.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
And so it was fun to just kind of get on stage and just rock it.
Do you approach these kind of shows any differently?
These shows, a little differently, because they're kind of just, you know, one-offs. You know, we're just here playing these 2 shows and then we're out of here.
Yeah.
And so might mess with the set list a little bit. And it's either you come at it with like more energy and enthusiasm than another tour date because you're not playing a lot of shows, or like you're out of practice and you're just kind of like you come at it unprepared. And last night we came at it with enthusiasm, and we've been getting together the last few months anyway, every once in a while just to play, and so we were still, you know, rehearsing and still kind of keeping our chops up, remembering how to play our instruments. Yeah.
Do you feel you've achieved that this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, as well as we ever knew how to play them, which, you know, it's just all right.
Yeah. Just before you played was Parkway Drive and Billy Talent.
Oh, right.
What was it like to share the stage with those guys?
Both those bands, I mean, I know more about Billy Talent. They're a hard band to follow. They are one of the most impressive rock bands playing, you know, heavy music today, period. You know, they're it's amazing, and they're drastically underrated in America. So I try to explain to people, like, this is one of the best living rock bands. Like, Ben is one of the best living frontmen. You know, that music, nobody plays a guitar like Ian plays the guitar. You know, they're incredible. And so they're an intimidating band to share a stage with, but they make you up your game. After I watched their entire set, and after watching them play, it's kind of like, all right, you know, there's no phoning this in. They're out there 18 months into a record cycle, 2 days away from ending the tour, you know, at the top of their game, playing these amazing gigs and just leaving it all there on the stage. Like, there's no excuse anymore. Yeah.
Is the atmosphere backstage at Warped UK similar to the US tour? It's obviously different climate and setting, but is it largely the same?
It's largely the same. I think I mentioned this on stage last night too. People kept asking me what are the differences between Warped Tour UK and Warped Tour Summer, and there's many, but I was on the Warped Tour website when I was coming here to figure out what this show was all about, and the frequently asked questions among them was, will there be tea? That was a frequently asked question. And I was like, that's the most discernible difference between the Warped Tour UK and the Warped Tour. Nobody's asking in Florida in July in 105-degree heat.
It is refreshing though.
Well, and the answer was yes, there will be tea actually.
Great.
Yeah, so, you know.
Are you a tea drinker when
everyone's
you're in the UK?
Stoked. I'm way more of a tea drinker when I'm in the UK than I am at home. Every time I come here, I'm just like, it's everywhere and it's available and everyone drinks it. Let's do this. This is great. Yeah. And then I get home, I get a little more lazy.
Yeah. Finally, what's it like being in such a historic venue such as Alexandra Palace?
Really amazing. It's really cool. I've been doing a lot of the sites in London the last couple of days because, like, being that this is not a tour, I've had a lot of time. I brought my kid out here too, so I'm showing her a little bit of the place, and we've been kind of going around, seeing a lot of the sites that I haven't seen in like 10 years. You know, when I first got here, we did it all. You know, we saw Big Ben and the London Eye and everything we could see, and I haven't done it in 10 years. And so to revisit all those places, and so just to come here and have the show actually be almost a continuing part of that tour, it's always impressive. We played here once before on the Give It a Name festival when we were on tour with Alexis on Fire a long time ago, and I remember being really impressed with the room. And so to be back here and headlining it is something that, you know, that I don't take for granted, because we were definitely an opener at a festival just like this not so long ago.
Yeah. Is it fun to visit the same sites with your child? Is it like to see it through new eyes?
Totally. And we did things that I hadn't ever even done before. You know, we did like the Tower of London this morning, and so it's cool. It's cool because, you know, I was able to see what she was interested in, and then also kind of, you know, get a feel for a country that we visit so many times, but unfortunately we spend a lot of times in dressing rooms and hotel rooms and tour buses.
Yeah.
That the country just kind of flies by, and it all kind of turns into a stage with monitors and speakers and a crowd.
Yeah.
You know? So it's cool to get a little bit of culture.
Cool. And finally, how will you be seeing out the rest of the year?
The rest of the year we'll be writing new songs for our 7th record. And as soon as we're done with those songs, we'll hit the studio. You know, we're kind of taking it, pacing ourselves, and kind of not going in until we're ready. You know, that kind of thing. We don't want to kind of try to follow any timeline that's gonna, you know, that will compromise the record.
Is that the enemy of writing music?
It is. Deadline? It is. When all of a sudden you're writing the songs for the record and someone's bugging you for a cover art decision. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, wait. We haven't written the record that we're talking about cover art for. You know, it's like the next thing you know, you're getting interrupted to like book the tour. It's like, well, wait, we haven't even written the record that we will support on the tour. And so it's kind of like, if we can do it all, if we can concentrate on the songs and the creative aspect of it, otherwise that process can suffer.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Enjoy tonight's show.
Yeah, I'll have a blast.
Enjoy the rest of the year.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Thanks, man.